everybody, what is up and welcome back to the channel. And today I am going to talk about why I record my videos the way I do, and we're going to do some viewer comments that I've gotten and I'm going to address them. So anyway, first thing I want to talk about is how I record and why I record. And I've talked about this before in a couple videos and stuff, but I kind of want you guys to maybe have a better understanding of it. So I use a Zoom Q8. That's what you guys are hearing me through right now, and it's got a cross microphone on the top that's mounted to it. And then I also have another microphone that is mounted up here in the air, which I've done a video and showed this. And I actually hooked that in there as well during certain recordings. Depends on what I'm recording, what I'm doing, so I can get a better sound. Now, the reason why I do this is because I want you guys to have the raw sound of what's going on. And I record through amps. I don't use plugins. I don't do anything like that. Most of the time I'm recording through my orange combo right here. This Crush Pro 120 with the 212 cab is what I'm usually recording when I'm doing the guitar videos and stuff. But I don't run it through a mixing board. I don't run it through my multi-track recorder and mix it down or do anything like that. I just give you the raw sound. And I do that for a reason, because I want you guys to hear what it's going to actually sound. I could take these videos and I could run them into my mixing board over there and into my track recorder, and I could clean it all up and make it sound pretty and sound amazing, you know, and do all this trickery that you could do in the studio, but then you're not getting the raw sound. And me, I'm a very keep it simple, stupid, raw guitar player. I'm a rhythm guitar player, and when I'm testing things out or demoing things or reviewing an amp or any product that I'm reviewing, I really want you to get the raw sound of what it kind of sounds like in this room that I'm recording in, you know, and that way you guys get a better idea of what that's going to sound like when it's sitting in your room recording. You know, a lot of these people that do these reviews, they run their stuff through a DAW. They actually don't even play through amps. They just use plugins in their DAW, and then they mix it all down, and it sounds like this amazing thing, but that's not really what you're hearing in the room. So for me, I try to keep it as raw as possible so you guys can truly hear what you're going to hear if you buy this product. Say you bought this amp and took it home and plugged it in your house and started playing it. That's what I want you guys to hear. So that's what I'm going for. I'm not trying to make it this pristine, perfect recording, because music has flaws, and I have flaws, and I try to, you know, just show you guys that I'm just some guy that likes to play guitar. And I'm some average guy. I'm not some great guitar player. I don't sit there and say that I'm some great guitar player or anything like that. I have no claim to fame. You know, this is just something I enjoy doing. And I always hope that in my doing reviews, or whether it's guitars, pedals, amps, whatever I'm talking about, that hopefully it's going to help you guys out one day or help somebody out. Like when I did my Boss GT 1000 videos, and I did a part 1, part 2, part 3 series on how to actually program that crazy thing, because they don't give you really any instructions on how to do it, and I had to figure it out. And while I was figuring it out, I figured I'd make videos to hopefully help the next guy that buys it, because it's a great product, but now they want you to go research everything online. You shouldn't have to do that. When you're spending $1,000, $1,100, $1,200, $1,600 on a multi-effects board, they should put you a manual in there that thick. And Boss used to do that. My ME70 I have over there has a manual this thick that tells you everything and how to do it in that thing. And I don't know why they got it. Everybody wants to go to this digital crap. I don't like digital. I like hard copy paper stuff. So anyway, that is why I record the way I do. I keep it simple. I use this mic on my camera and maybe one other microphone that's up here that catches the sound of the whole room. And that's how I record, and that's how I'm going to keep recording, you know. I've had some people make comments that, like, I should do this or I should do that. And I'm not going to do that, because that's not how I do things and not what I'm doing. This is how I do things. And I'll tell any one of you, if you guys don't like my channel, like what I'm doing, you don't have to watch it, man. There's a gazillion other people out there making content. So feel free to go somewhere else, you know. I don't make any money doing this. I'm not getting paid to do this. I do it because I like to do it, you know. I don't have any sponsors. I don't have anything. Everything you see on my channel, I paid for with my own hard cash. So anyway, moving on to that. That's why I record the way I do. Let's talk about some viewer comments that I've gotten. So I've got my top 10. If I can grab my sheet here. So, I did a list of 10. There's more, but these were the top 10 that kind of stuck out to me. So, first comment was, I did a video, and it was on my Slash Signature Series guitar I have over there, the Epiphone one that came out. And in the video, I was actually playing to a drum machine. So I had a drummer playing, and in the video when I was playing the riff, I got off timing. Alright? And I literally, as soon as I was done playing the riff, I laughed in the video and said, yeah, I screwed that up. I got off timing, but that's what it is. You guys get the gist of what it is, right? So I literally knew I screwed up when I did it. I just left it in there because it happens. And I even admitted to it and said, yeah, I screwed up. I messed up that riff, totally, acknowledged that I screwed up and was off timing. But then I get this comment from this guy, and he tells me, hey, you need to play with a metronome because you were off timing. And I'm like, seriously, dude? So first off, I hate metronomes. I don't want to hear a click, 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 click. And second of all, I don't need a metronome if I'm playing to a drummer. He is my metronome. The drums keep the timing. And I flat out admitted in the video that I got off timing because it happens when you're playing. Even if you're playing to a metronome, you could get thrown off. And I got thrown off. I got in the moment and I got thrown off. And I flat out called myself out in my own video. And then this guy, obviously he didn't watch the whole thing. He just heard that and then wrote his comment and didn't even pay attention to anything else on it. He also was hating on the guitar as well. Just a troll. But I thought that was interesting that, I always play when I'm practicing to a drummer, and I have a bunch of drum machines and I have a SR18 over there, drum machine on the floor, I got another drum machine over here. And I'm always playing to something like that for my timing and working on that stuff. But, we screw up. As guitar players, it happens even when you play live. Even the best musicians in the world get off timing when they're playing live. Even if they're listening to the click tracks and everything else. It happens. So, thought that was an interesting comment to have. Now, moving on to number 2, which kind of moves down to the same video, is that Slash Epiphone a series of guitars that the signature series that Slash put out. I got a bunch of hate when I put that out. I mean, people are like, this guitar sucks, that guitar is horrible, it's overpriced piece of shit, and you name it, man, they hit me with it. Boom, 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 bombarded. Now, the irony of that is that I asked them, I was like, okay, so do you own it? Did you play it? So that's what you think because you owned it, right? And everybody that commented about how much they hated this guitar, not a one of them ever even seen it in person, nor ever played it. So, how can you say something sucks if you haven't even seen it or played it in person? You're just passing judgment on something because everybody was mad because it didn't come out with Slash's signature Seymour Duncan pickups like the old version did back in the 90s or whatever when that one came out. I had that one. It was 90s or early 2000s. I can't remember when it came out. But I had that guitar. I wish I never sold it because they did put his in there. And it was a lot lower price too. But this is what they came out with, and the only reason I ended up getting it is because I wanted to replace that Signature Series guitar that I had gotten rid of with this one, and eventually I am going to drop his Signature Seymour Duncans in that guitar, so it has the right setup that it should have. Now, do I think it was overpriced when it came out? Do I think it's still overpriced? I sure do. I think that it's definitely overpriced, but you know what? I wanted it. It's Slash's Signature Series guitar, and as his other guitars have done in the past, it's probably just going to keep going up in price just the way it is. So whether you put the Seymour Duncans in or not, it's already going to, save its value, increase its value, or whatever. And I bought it for the nostalgia's sake that I'm a huge Slash fan. He's one of my favorite guitar players, and I had one of the Signature Series guitars years ago, and I sold it, and so I wanted to replace that. So when these came out, I wanted to get one. I bought the Appetite for Destruction Burst. The video I did on that, the audio wasn't that great. It wasn't the best video. I should probably redo it now. And I might redo it and do a better one now. But I'll get around to it. I already put one out there. So moving on. Number 3 was, this is a comment I've gotten a few times. And people always say, I either must be rich or make a lot of money to own all the gear I have. And that is further from the truth as it could ever be, because the truth be told, I'm a 100% disabled veteran and have been medically retired. I was medically retired from the Army in 2013 due to injuries I suffered in Iraq as a combat soldier. That's about all I'm going to say about that. I don't get into what happened, but I am not rich. I live on medical disability, and the reason why I have the gear I have and I'm able to do the things I have is because I've been playing since I was 16 years old, and I have kept my gear as I have bought it. I've saved up for everything that I have and bought each piece of gear as I can afford it. And that's how I got this gear. And I am 53 years old, so I should have something to show for that, since I've been playing since I was 16 years old. And I have bought, sold, borrowed, traded, done all kinds of stuff. I mean, I buy gear and then I upgrade. I buy gear and I go trade it in to get what I want. And it took me a long time to get like these orange amps and get this stuff. I mean, like I said, I've been accumulating gear since I was 16 years old. I just did a video not too long ago on the Metal Zone pedal, and I've had that pedal since 1991 when it came out. So yeah, I should have some gear considering I'm 53 years old and I've retired from the military, and I've worked a full life already once, and I'm still doing stuff now, and I have worked hard to accumulate gear. And I will tell you, if you guys actually really want to try to find good gear, Reverb is a place I shop a lot. And if you are up late at night like I am and don't go to sleep till 4 or 5 in the morning, deals will pop up on Reverb that you can get. I bought several guitars very, very on the cheap on Reverb because I'm just constantly looking for certain things, and looking for somebody to throw something up there that they didn't know what they had, which is what happened with this Schecter right here. This limited edition Schecter that they only made 100 of them for the United States. That popped up late at night, and it was well below what it's actually worth. And I've been wanting one of those ever since it got released, and I didn't have the money at the time to buy one, so I got it. So no, I'm not rich. I don't make a lot of money. I don't have any other income other than my disability that I get from the military, which I 100% earned. 100%. So I'm not rich. I just have accumulated gear over a long time. So moving on. I get number 4 is my favorite one, and probably a lot of people get told this. I get told my playing sucks. Well, I never said I was a great guitar player. I don't claim to be some amazing guitar player. I'm trying to always get better at playing, but I feel like being a musician in general, no matter what instrument you play, you can always get better. So I'm always trying to get better, and I'm always trying to practice as much as I can and get better, and I really try to work on it. But hey, that's the only way we learn, is to keep practicing, and you get to see my progress on camera, so, and if you don't like my playing, don't watch. It's that simple. Anyway, moving on. The other thing I get told when it comes to my playing is that, this is number 5, is you need to learn how to shred faster and shred better and do more leads. Well, first off, I'm a rhythm guitar player, all right? And I like playing rhythms. Now, I do play some leads, but anytime I play leads, they're not these super fast Nita Strauss, Sophia Lloyd, Yngwie Malmsteen type leads. That's just not what I do. My fingers just don't move that fast. I'm old. They don't move that fast. And I have a lot of respect for people that can shred like that, but it's not something I've ever been into. I've always been into more of the rhythm guitar players and stuff, and things like that. Like, my 3 top guitar players are Slash and James Hetfield and Eddie Van Halen, and all 3 of those guys are great rhythm guitar players, as well as they can do some really amazing. I mean, Eddie Van Halen, that speaks for him. Slash is a whole other one. I mean, his leads are crazy, but he doesn't do the shred thing. The way he plays is just crazy awesome. But I'm not a lead guitar player. On top of the fact that seems to be all everybody wants to do is play as fast as they possibly can. And if you're not doing shred videos and showing how fast you can shred, then you suck as a guitar player, which is further from the truth. Because some of the most famous musicians out there, people like Joan Jett, aren't shredders. She's not a shredder. Kurt Cobain from Nirvana was not a shredder, at all. But they wrote amazing songs and got famous. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that aren't the greatest guitar players, and can knock out. Neil Young, I mean, he's wrote some amazing songs. He's a songwriter, but he's not a great guitar player. So, I'm not into the shredder thing. I can appreciate it 100%, and it takes a lot of talent to be able to do that, but it's not my thing. So, if you guys are looking for somebody to be a shred guitar player, this ain't your channel, because that's not what I do. So, anyway, that answered that question. So, number 6. Number 6 is, people tell me, I get comments all the time because I use a 16-track multi-track recorder that I need to step up to a DAW. Well, I've tried DAWs. I don't like them. I don't like having to look at a computer screen. I don't like having to use a mouse to move my things up and down. I don't like having to keep updating it. I don't like the fact that my computer can crash or freeze up and then whatever I was doing, can get lost. I don't like any of that. What I like is to keep it simple, stupid, and a multi-track recorder does that. I can buy that. It has everything I need to do, everything that I need to do to record and stuff, which is how people recorded and still record. I've been doing it for decades, and I'm one of those, if it's not broke, you don't have to fix it. And recording with a multi-track like this can actually end up making you a better guitar player. But that's a whole nother video. But I've used DAWs. I don't like them. We all have our workflow that works for us. Multi-track recorders work for me, and as long as multi-track recorders exist, I will record on a multi-track recorder. And the ones that are out just have gotten better and better. And there's only a couple companies that are putting them out now because everybody's gone to that DAW stuff. But I don't want to do that. I'm going to keep doing a multi-track recorder, and I'm always going to have one and probably record on one for the rest of my life. So if you guys like using DAWs, that's great. I'm not interested in that stuff. It's just not my thing. So on that other thing there, I think there was something else on here. Yeah. The other reason is when it comes to me recording, to touch base on that before we go off of it, is I don't like plugins either. I'm not a plug-in guy. I like having the actual amps here. I like actually having a drum kit in the studio. Even though I do use a drum machine and create drum tracks over there, because I'm not the greatest drummer, and when I want really good drum tracks, I use my SR18 to create drum tracks for my songs. I don't care for plugins. I like actually using the amps that I have. That's why I have the amps I have, and I know that a lot of people would rather just buy a plug-in, but that's not me. I like the physical things. I like to be able to physically touch what I'm doing. All right, and that just makes me old school. But that's enough of that. So let's move on to number 7. Oh yeah, you need to use DAW, and then it was you need to use a DAW. This attaches to that. You need to use a DAW and record your videos through a mix, which goes back to what I was talking about, how I record in the first place in the beginning of this video. I'm not going to do that because then you're not getting what the product I'm actually reviewing actually really sounds like. So I'm not going to run through a mix and clean it all up and make it be this polished turd that I'm going to try to sell you something. I want you to hear the raw sound, and that's me. I'm always going to be that keep it simple, stupid, raw, be real kind of guy. That's just kind of how I am, and that's how I do things. So not going to happen. So anyway, number 8, this is another one that I love, is only buy USA made guitars. There's some diehard people that think that the only good guitars are ones made in the USA. And number 9 is going to roll into number 8. But I will tell you right now, there's a lot of guitar companies out there that are making some really great guitars and getting them done out of Indonesia and out of Taiwan and out of Japan. And even China is putting out some guitars that are starting to be very competitive to the market. And that's just how it is. The industry is getting better and better. You can find really good guitars for better prices. And the other thing with American-made guitars, I mean, have you looked at how much a Gibson costs these days? Yeah. And moving into number 9, another comment that I get a lot is Gibson guitars are the best guitars. And there's people that are diehard Gibson fans. Now, I don't have anything against Gibson. I've owned a bunch of Gibsons, and I actually own a bunch of Epiphones. I mean, I've got a Lizzie Hale Signature Epiphone Explorer sitting right there, which is an amazing guitar. I've got an Epiphone Les Paul up there that's Purple Burst that's sitting there. I've got that Slash Signatures Epiphone Les Paul, and I've got 2 more laying on the floor right here, which are all, Gibson and Epiphone. They're sister companies. I owned actual Gibson Les Pauls for many, many years, but the thing is, I can't justify their prices. $3,000, $4,000, $10,000 for a guitar? Are you kidding me? That's crazy. There's Schecter or ESP LTDs. I mean, just blow them away. I mean, you guys can preach, Gibson USA all day long, but I'll tell you one thing: Gibson's quality control still sucks. I mean, like it or hate it, it still sucks. And if you're spending $3,000 on a guitar, it should not only be top notch, it should come with a hard shell case. Let's give them a soft shell case and screw them is a bunch of bullshit, And I just think Gibson has gone the way of the dodo as far as I'm concerned. It's not that I don't like Gibson guitars, I do. You know, and if somebody said, here's a Gibson Explorer, I'd take it in a heartbeat. Or handed me a Gibson Les Paul, I would take it. But, you know, they're famous for their necks cracking. You know, up at the headstock's cracking. They're famous for coming from the factory and having all kinds of issues. You know, there's a time that the issues got cleaned up a little bit, and then they went south again. And the prices are just ridiculous. You know, for what I could pay for one Gibson, I could buy 3, 4, or 5 Schecters, depending on the brand. Like, I could literally, these Schecters right here and stuff, or I'd pay for one Les Paul, I could buy 3 of those. And I'll take that Schecter over a Les Paul any day of the week. Any day of the week. And that's a Silver Mountain, if you're wondering. But yeah, I'll take those Schecters. I'll take any one of my Schecters, even this one right here, over Les Paul any day of the week. Schecter's quality control, even in their stuff that comes from overseas, is phenomenal. Phenomenal. And so is ESP. ESP's LTDs are amazing. This James Hetfield one and stuff, which is a pretty expensive guitar, but is badass. This is actually the most expensive guitar I've ever bought in my life that I'd ever owned. But I will tell you, those two companies are knocking it out of the park. Paul Reed Smith, too. Man, PRSs. I'll take those PRSs. I've got 2 PRSs SC245s right there, and they blow any Les Paul I've ever played away. Any day of the week. And for way less money. Way less money. So, yeah, I want to support USA companies, but the USA companies got to get a reality check. You know, and that's all I can say about that. So, and then, number 10, and this was something I found really funny. So, I have 2 Ibanez micro bass guitars, and there's a lot of people that really like the videos that I did on it, and then there's a bunch of people that said the Ibanez micro bass sucks. And again, there's a bunch of people that I was like, well, have you played one? Have you seen one in person? Have you ever messed one? Well, no. Well, then how do you know it sucks? You know, they're looking at the price point, and they're like, whoa, they were only like $150 or $175. I think they were $175, but I think I got mine for $150. But anyway, they weren't very expensive. But they're great little basses. If you're somebody that just wants a good little bass to thump around on, especially if you're a guitar player and you want to kind of keep that same size thing and still play bass and be able to record some bass in recordings, let me tell you what, those little Ibanez micro basses, you cannot go wrong with it. And I've recorded a ton of bass tracks for them things. And every bass player that I know that has actually come in here and stuff has played them and loves playing them things. They think they're a blast to play because it's like playing a guitar. They're so small. They're so much fun to play. I love them. Now I have 3 full-scale basses. I have a really nice Ibanez full-scale bass. Actually, I got 2 Ibanez ones, really higher-end ones. And I've got a really nice PB Millennium, over there as well. And I enjoy playing those as much. As a matter of fact, my Ibanez SRX 700 is probably my favorite bass to play. But I love those little micro basses. And a lot of times when I'm recording and I'm just trying to work out bass riffs, I'll play that little micro bass. And sometimes I just end up plugging in and recording because I already got it on. So to me, it's a great little bass. And I don't know why there's like a love-hate relationship with that as well. So anyway, those are some of my viewer comments. Comments. Those are some of my viewer comments that I've gotten. And that's why I record the way I do, you know. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some insight into it. Please do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button down below because it definitely helps the channel out. And I appreciate all you guys that have been following, and hopefully you guys will keep following. And once I get to that 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to do a giveaway of some sorts, and somebody's going to win something. And it's going to be a pedal or something. I'm not sure what I'm going to give away, but I'm definitely going to give away something cool. So anyway, you guys take care, keep rocking out there, and we will see you guys on the next video.